I really tried my best, please watch the video until the end.
I stand on the cold dirt while the giant golem approaches. The heavy ground shakes under its massive stone footsteps. This foolish creature thinks a tiny bug is easy prey today. My golden chitin glows bright under the dark, stormy sky. The intense light reflects off the falling dust particles. I calculate the exact weight of the incoming stone foot. System multiplier increases my total physical power now. The raw kinetic energy rushes through my 6 small limbs. The surrounding air temperature drops by several degrees. True strength does not depend on physical size or volume. I plant my back legs firmly into the hard, rocky surface. Tiny cracks form in the earth beneath my glowing body. This giant rock monster will learn a very harsh lesson. Base physical strength multiplied by 1,000,000 times. The massive golem raises its foot to crush my tiny form. A huge shadow covers the entire valley floor around me. I feel absolutely no panic as the heavy attack descends. I slowly raise one single front leg toward the dark sky. The wind howls wildly as the giant stone mass drops down. This simple defensive stance is more than enough for him. The enormous foot slams directly into my extended tiny leg. A massive shockwave rips through the entire dense forest. My golden armor does not even bend under the extreme load. The kinetic force rebounds instantly back into the golem. Deep fractures spread rapidly up the giant stone leg now. I watch the structural integrity fail in mere milliseconds. Tectonic plate shifting power is successfully demonstrated. The giant stone monster explodes into 1,000,000 tiny pieces. Heavy boulders rain down upon the barren wasteland dirt. I do not even flinch as the debris crashes all around me. My glowing golden shell repels every single falling rock. The dust settles slowly over the newly formed deep crater. This pathetic giant was nothing but a fragile glass toy. I lower my front leg and resume my steady forward march. The ground crumbles slightly beneath my immense new weight. Every passing second adds another layer of extreme power. The continuous strength multiplication cycle is active now. I scan the distant horizon for any other potential threats. A group of heavily armored knights watches from the hill. Their metal weapons drop into the dirt in pure sheer shock. They realize their entire army cannot stop my progression. I emit a low-frequency vibration from my golden mandibles. The sonic wave shatters the glass visors on their helmets. Fear is a highly predictable response to absolute power. I step forward, and the earth splits open under my feet. A deep fissure swallows the remaining trees in the area. My current density rivals the core of a massive planet. Host physical mass density has reached a critical level. The lead knight tries to run away from the danger zone. His heavy steel boots sink deeply into the ruined ground. Running away is a useless tactic against my current speed. I push off the ground with a fraction of my total power. The resulting blast launches me across the entire valley. I calculate the exact trajectory to intercept his escape. I land directly in front of the terrified human soldier. The impact creates a massive crater in the solid bedrock. He looks down at my tiny glowing form with pure terror. I do not waste time on useless conversations or warnings. The silent atmosphere amplifies the tension in the air. My objective is to clear this entire sector of enemies. New mission objective is successfully logged into memory. I step onto the tip of his heavy steel broadsword blade. The thick metal weapon instantly snaps into 2 pieces. Human engineering is completely worthless against my stats. The knight falls backward into the mud with a loud thud. His breathing becomes erratic and shallow from the panic. I observe his elevated heart rate through the metal armor. I walk right over his chest plate without slowing down. The steel armor caves in under my concentrated footsteps. I leave a trail of crushed metal as I continue my march. Enemy armor integrity is reduced to absolute 0%. A massive wyvern suddenly dives from the dark clouds above. The rushing wind tears the remaining leaves from the trees. Aerial targets are just as easy to eliminate as ground ones. The beast opens its jaws to unleash a stream of hot fire. The intense heat instantly vaporizes the surrounding mud. My golden shell absorbs the thermal energy without issue. I leap directly into the center of the roaring fire stream. The flames part around my tiny body like a flowing river. I aim my trajectory straight for the open mouth of the beast. Thermal resistance is currently operating at maximum level. I strike the lower jaw of the wyvern with incredible force. The kinetic impact shatters the massive skull instantly. The huge flying lizard loses all forward momentum at once. The lifeless body plummets toward the rocky ground below. A loud crash echoes across the empty mountain range now. I land gracefully on top of the ruined beast without harm. My golden chitin remains completely spotless and shining. The bloodless victory leaves the battlefield totally quiet. I must find a much stronger opponent to test my new limits. Searching the local area for higher-tier enemy targets. A giant mechanical fortress rolls over the distant hills. Heavy artillery cannons track my exact location right now. This machine might actually survive more than one single hit. I stand perfectly still and wait for the first projectile. A massive tungsten shell cuts through the air toward me. The velocity is impressive, but ultimately far too slow. I casually swat the incoming artillery shell with one leg. The heavy metal projectile deflects back toward the base. I calculate the exact angle to hit their main power core. Projectile trajectory successfully altered by the user. The redirected shell pierces the thick fortress armor plating. A blinding explosion consumes the entire mechanical structure. The shockwave clears the dark clouds from the sky above me. I absorb the residual kinetic energy from the massive blast. The ground turns into molten glass beneath my 6 tiny feet. My power multiplier continues to scale without any limits. I focus my vision on the tallest mountain peak in the east. The jagged rocks pierce the newly cleared blue atmosphere. I decide to relocate that mountain to test my lifting power. Target acquired for the next physical strength experiment. I begin my steady march toward the distant mountain range. Every single footstep creates a localized, seismic event. The world will soon understand the true weight of my power. A deep trench forms behind me as I drag my back legs now. Subterranean water bursts upward from the broken bedrock. I ignore the newly formed geysers and maintain my fast pace. I finally reach the massive base of the towering stone peak. The sheer cliff face extends upward into the high clouds. I place 2 front legs against the solid granite foundation, applying maximum kinetic force to the target structure. I push forward with a fraction of my total multiplied strength. The entire mountain groans under the sudden extreme pressure. Millions of tons of solid rock begin to slide across the dirt. I lift the entire landmass slightly off the valley floor. The sky darkens as the floating mountain blocks the bright sun. Holding a mountain feels lighter than a single grain of sand. I toss the massive peak aside like a piece of useless trash. The impact reshapes the entire geography of the continent. My golden shell shines brighter than ever in the dusty air. Physical power multiplier has reached a new milestone. I look down at my tiny glowing limbs with pure satisfaction. The ambient temperature rises from my internal energy output. There is no entity in this world that can survive my strike. I turn my attention toward the massive capital city walls. Sirens blare loudly across the terrified human settlement. They have exactly 1 minute to surrender their entire realm. I take one single step forward to begin the final conquest. The shockwave shatters the outer defensive barrier instantly. The Age of Giants is officially over as of this very second. System calibration complete for the next phase of combat. I will crush their entire civilization with just one tiny leg. The massive steel gates of the human capital slowly open. Heavy artillery cannons slide out from the hidden bunkers. Their pathetic resistance will only accelerate my progress. City defense perimeter heavily breached by the user. Thousands of glowing magical arrows launch into the dark sky. The dense volley blocks out the remaining natural sunlight. Kinetic energy from falling sticks cannot pierce my shell. I stand perfectly still on the cracked dirt foundation now. The glowing projectiles rain down upon my golden exterior. Every single arrow shatters into harmless magical sparks. Incoming kinetic attacks register as absolute 0 damage. I take another step toward the crumbling outer city wall. The sheer pressure of my footstep creates a deep shockwave. Gravity itself struggles to contain my ever-growing mass. A squad of giant armored paladins charges down the main road. Their heavy warhammers drag along the paved stone streets. These elite soldiers are merely walking metal scrap to me. Target threat level calculated as completely insignificant. The lead paladin swings his massive hammer at my tiny head. The solid steel weapon strikes my glowing golden mandibles. The impact force instantly reverberates back up his weapon. The giant steel hammer explodes into fine metallic powder. The violent recoil snaps the heavy gauntlets of the soldier. Physics dictates that the weaker material must always fail. Enemy weapon structural integrity is completely compromised now. I flick my front left leg toward the stunned human warrior. The compressed air pressure strikes his heavy chest plate. He flies backward through 3 layers of reinforced stone. The remaining paladins freeze in their tracks immediately. Their elevated heartbeats echo loudly through the courtyard. Fear is the only logical response to mathematical certainty. Psychological warfare parameters successfully set by user. I ignore the trembling guards and march into the main plaza. The ornate cobblestone cracks deeply beneath my tiny feet. This entire civilization was built upon a fragile foundation. A towering, magical construct materializes in the city center. Arcane energy pulses rapidly through its giant crystal core. Magic is just another form of energy for me to easily break. Arcane energy signature detected in the immediate vicinity. The crystal golem fires a concentrated beam of pure plasma. The superheated ray melts the surrounding stone structures. Thermal attacks remain completely useless against my shell. I walk directly through the blinding pillar of arcane fire. The intense heat dissipates harmlessly across my golden back. My internal density absorbs the thermal shock without issue. Absolute thermal resistance operating at maximum capacity. I jump directly toward the floating crystal core of the beast. The sudden launch creates a massive crater in the city plaza. Aerial interception is the most efficient combat maneuver. My tiny golden leg strikes the massive glowing blue crystal. The arcane power source shatters into 1,000,000 sharp shards. The magical construct collapses instantly into a pile of dust. Hostile arcane entity successfully neutralized by the user. I land gracefully on the ruined remains of the giant statue. The shockwave of my landing knocks down the nearby buildings. Collateral damage is a necessary component of total victory. The Grand Human King finally steps out onto his high balcony. He wears a crown forged from the rarest enchanted materials. Shiny metals cannot protect him from raw kinetic devastation. Primary target identified on the upper royal palace levels. The king raises a legendary golden sword toward the dark sky. A massive thunderstorm gathers directly above the royal palace. He intends to use atmospheric electricity to stop my advance. A blinding bolt of pure lightning strikes my tiny golden form. The electrical current grounds out harmlessly into the earth. My chitin shell is the ultimate insulator against such tricks. Electrical damage nullified by superior physical attributes. I calculate the exact distance to the high royal balcony now. The surrounding air pressure drops as I prepare my next jump. It is time to dethrone the ruler of this pathetic kingdom. I push off the broken stone platform with immense raw power. The kinetic blast instantly levels the entire courtyard area. My trajectory is a perfectly straight line toward the monarch. Physical strength multiplier continuously scales upward now. I crash directly into the reinforced magical balcony barrier. The legendary shield shatters like cheap glass upon my impact. No defensive spell can withstand my multiplied physical mass. I land softly on the polished marble floor of the royal room. The heavy stone tiles crack instantly under my extreme weight. The king drops his legendary sword onto the hard stone floor. Enemy morale has officially dropped below functional levels. The monarch collapses onto his knees and surrenders his realm. His breathing becomes erratic as he stares at my glowing armor. Mercy is a flawed concept invented by weak biological beings. I step onto the fallen legendary sword resting on the marble. The enchanted steel blade snaps into several jagged fragments. His most prized possession is destroyed by a casual footstep. Legendary artifact successfully eliminated from the database. I emit a high-frequency vibration from my golden mandibles. The sonic wave shatters every single window in the grand hall. The intense sound causes the king to instantly lose consciousness. The unconscious ruler collapses heavily onto the ruined floor. The remaining palace guards drop their weapons and run away. The capital city is now completely under my absolute control. Territorial conquest objective achieved with 0 casualties. I walk toward the massive golden throne at the end of the hall. The heavy structure gleams brightly in the fading afternoon sun. This oversized chair will serve as my temporary command center. I climb up the velvet steps and rest on the royal seat cushion. The solid gold frame groans under my incredibly dense body mass. The entire kingdom now belongs to a single microscopic insect. Global dominance protocol initiated by the primary user now. A deep rumble echoes from the subterranean depths of the city. The marble floor vibrates violently beneath the golden throne. It seems they have awakened their ancient sleeping guardian. A colossal mechanical dragon bursts through the courtyard below. Giant steel wings tear apart the remaining palace stone walls. This ancient machine might provide a slight physical challenge. Ancient mechanical threat detected in the immediate area. The metal beast roars and charges its primary plasma cannon. A blinding purple light illuminates the ruined royal chamber. I will test my maximum punching power against this new toy. I leap from the golden throne directly toward the giant dragon. The sonic boom of my launch shatters the remaining pillars. My tiny fist carries the exact weight of a falling meteor now. Maximum kinetic energy output routed to the front appendages. I strike the thick armored skull of the massive steel beast. The heavy metal crunches inward like a piece of cheap tin foil. The violent impact sends a shockwave across the entire capital. The dragon crashes down into the deep subterranean cavern below. A massive cloud of dust and debris rises into the evening sky. There is truly no limit to my constantly multiplying strength. Physical power multiplier cycle continues without interruption. I stand victorious over the massive smoking crater in the city. The surviving humans drop their weapons in absolute submission. They finally understand that resistance is a mathematical error. I raise my front right leg toward the distant western continent. The ocean waves part wildly from the sheer atmospheric pressure. This tiny planet is far too small to contain my ultimate evolution. Intercontinental traversal sequence is successfully initiated. I step forward, and the entire tectonic plate shifts violently. A massive tsunami forms instantly on the distant blue horizon. The rest of this fragile world will soon bow to the golden ant. I step off the ruined coastline into the deep, raging ocean. The displaced water forms a massive wall of crushing pressure. Liquid resistance is mathematically irrelevant to my density. Hydrodynamic friction reduced to absolute 0% now. I walk directly across the dark and muddy abyssal seafloor. Deep ocean trenches collapse under my concentrated footsteps. The extreme water pressure feels like a gentle evening breeze. Environmental pressure immunity is functioning flawlessly. A colossal deep-sea leviathan senses my crossing vibrations. The giant aquatic beast opens its massive toothy jaws wide. Biological size means absolutely nothing in this new reality. Hostile biological entity detected in the immediate path. I flick my front right leg upward through the heavy current. A compressed water blade slices through the dense ocean mass. The kinetic shockwave renders the giant beast fully comatose. Aquatic threat neutralized with minimal energy expenditure. The massive unconscious body floats slowly toward the surface. The surrounding seawater boils from my internal heat output. My multiplying power requires constant thermal venting now. Internal core temperature regulation cycle is fully active. I continue my steady march across the shifting tectonic plates. Submarine volcanoes erupt violently behind my glowing trail. The planet itself struggles to support my increasing weight. Geological stability of the current region is compromised. The western continental shelf finally appears in my vision. A massive energy dome covers the entire coastal landmass now. These humans actually believe a simple shield can stop me. Planetary defense grid identified on the western continent, I plant my 6 tiny legs firmly into the rising sandy beach. The shoreline fractures into a million deep, jagged crevices. It is time to test the absolute limit of their magical barrier, calculating structural weak points of the energy shield. I thrust my golden mandibles directly into the glowing wall. The entire continental defense grid flickers and whines loudly. Arcane energy shatters when faced with infinite physical mass. Barrier integrity dropping rapidly toward critical failure. The massive energy dome explodes into harmless white sparks. A violent shockwave flattens the coastal defensive bunkers. Their ultimate protection lasted less than 3 full seconds. Western continent perimeter defenses completely eliminated. Thousands of elite flying mages hover above the ruined beach. They begin chanting a synchronized high-tier destruction spell. Collective effort is useless against a mathematical absolute. Multiple hostile magic signatures locking onto user location. A colossal meteor of pure dark matter drops from the high sky. The atmospheric friction creates a blinding purple light show. They intend to sacrifice their own coastline to destroy me. Incoming gravitational anomaly detected in the upper orbit. I do not bother moving from my current spot on the wet sand. The dark matter meteor crashes directly onto my tiny golden back. The immense gravitational pressure feels like a heavy blanket. Gravitational crushing force successfully absorbed by shell, I push upward with a tiny fraction of my multiplied strength. The dense dark matter sphere shatters into cosmic dust instantly. Their ultimate magic spell is nothing but a cheap parlor trick. Hostile magical anomaly completely erased from existence. The flying mages drop out of the sky from pure mental exhaustion. Their unconscious bodies crash heavily into the sandy dunes. Biological limits make these humans incredibly fragile creatures. Enemy combatants neutralized via severe magical depletion. I resume my steady forward march into the Western territories. The ground turns to molten glass beneath my radiating heat. My physical presence alone is terraforming this entire planet. Environmental alteration progressing at an accelerated rate. A massive fleet of hovering steel dreadnoughts blocks the sun. Millions of heavy weapon barrels aim directly at my tiny head. They still believe more metal will somehow solve their problem. Maximum threat level declared by the Western military forces. I stomp my front right leg into the crystallized sandy ground. A directed seismic wave travels upward through the dense air. The shifting air pressure creates a localized artificial tornado. Atmospheric manipulation achieved via raw kinetic output. The violent wind currents rip the heavy dreadnoughts apart. Massive chunks of steel rain down upon the barren coastal plains. Gravity reclaims their advanced technology in mere seconds. Airborne mechanical fleet successfully grounded and destroyed. I walk through the burning wreckage without altering my pace. The burning ship fires reflect perfectly off my golden shell. The complete destruction of their military is highly efficient. Combat efficiency rating maintained at absolute maximum level. A giant projection of the Western Emperor appears in the sky. The holographic image trembles as he attempts to speak clearly. Negotiations are pointless when the power gap is truly infinite. Incoming communication signal detected from the capital city. I emit a concentrated sonic blast from my golden mandibles now. The high-frequency wave instantly disrupts the holographic signal. I do not care to hear the desperate pleas of a defeated ruler. Enemy communication network permanently disabled by the user. I calculate the exact location of their central command bunker. The Earth groans as I prepare my next long-distance trajectory. A single strike will end this pathetic continental resistance. Target coordinates locked onto the primary enemy headquarters. I launch into the sky with an immense burst of kinetic force. The launch crater swallows the remains of the ruined coastline. My current velocity easily breaks the atmospheric sound barrier. Flight trajectory perfectly aligned with the target destination. I crash through the reinforced roof of the deep command bunker. The solid titanium walls fold inward like crushed paper cups. No bunker can withstand the weight of my multiplying mass. Underground bunker structural integrity completely compromised. The Western Emperor sits frozen in his luxurious command chair. His elite bodyguards drop their energy rifles in absolute terror. They finally realize that their entire world belongs to me now. Total planetary submission achieved by the primary user entity. I step onto the central control console of the military bunker. The advanced computers spark and die under my extreme density. This planet no longer offers any meaningful physical challenges. Scanning the immediate solar system for higher-tier opponents. I look upward through the massive hole in the titanium ceiling. The distant stars twinkle coldly in the dark expanse of space. The vacuum of space is simply another environment to conquer. Extraterrestrial traversal protocols are currently initializing. I gather the ambient kinetic energy into my 6 golden legs. The entire continental landmass shudders from the stored power. My next jump will carry me far beyond the planetary atmosphere. Orbital escape velocity calculations are successfully completed. I push off the ruined bunker floor with absolute maximum force. The resulting shockwave shatters the entire Western Hemisphere. The Golden Ant will now bring true order to the entire cosmos. System multiplier continues to scale infinitely in the void. I breach the upper exosphere in a fraction of a microsecond. The sudden vacuum of space offers absolutely zero resistance. Biological breathing is a flaw I no longer need to maintain. Atmospheric exit sequence completed with maximum efficiency. My golden shell reflects the harsh radiation of the local sun. The absolute zero temperature fails to penetrate my dense core. Thermal dynamics hold no authority over my multiplying mass. Extreme cosmic radiation nullified by superior chitin armor, I adjust my trajectory toward the massive gray lunar satellite. A hidden ring of orbital defense cannons suddenly powers up. These paranoid humans built weapons pointing away from home. Secret orbital military base detected on the lunar surface. Hundreds of heavy plasma torpedoes launch into the dark void. The silent explosions paint the empty vacuum in bright purple. Visual spectacles do not alter the cold mathematics of impact. Incoming plasma artillery registered as completely harmless. I extend my front right leg to intercept the largest torpedo. The superheated energy sphere collapses against my tiny limb. My physical density simply crushes the plasma back into atoms. Energy weapon structural integrity is instantly compromised. I crash directly into the center of the hidden lunar fortress. The impact shockwave silently shatters the titanium moon base. The artificial gravity generators fail under my extreme weight. Lunar military outpost successfully eliminated from orbit. Massive chunks of lunar rock drift slowly into the dark space. The human defenders are instantly frozen in the cold vacuum. Their fragile biology was never meant for this harsh frontier. Biological life forms neutralized by environmental exposure. A massive spatial tear opens directly near the asteroid belt. An armada of sleek alien warships emerges from the dark portal. It seems my planetary destruction attracted some new spectators. Extraterrestrial combat fleet detected in the local sector. The alien vessels are constructed from an unknown black alloy. Their engine thrusters burn with a cold and unnatural blue light. Advanced technology is just another brittle toy for me to break. Scanning unknown metallic composition for structural flaws. The lead alien dreadnought fires a concentrated gravity beam. The invisible force attempts to crush my tiny golden body flat. My multiplying mass easily resists the artificial pull now. Hostile gravitational manipulation is completely ineffective. I push off a floating piece of lunar debris with immense force. The violent launch propels me toward the nearest alien cruiser. Kinetic energy remains the universal language of true dominance. Maximum velocity achieved in the zero-gravity environment, I strike the reinforced hull of the sleek black alien warship. The unknown dark alloy shatters like brittle glass upon impact. My tiny form tears through the entire engine compartment now. Alien vessel structural integrity reduced to absolute zero. The massive cruiser detonates in a blinding flash of blue light. The silent shockwave scatters the surrounding asteroid field. Explosions in space are highly efficient at clearing the area. Multiple alien combat units destroyed by collateral damage. The remaining alien ships shift into a tight defensive grid. They link their energy shields to form a massive cosmic barrier. These fools believe collective defense can stop my progression. Combined energy shield network detected across the armada. I calculate the exact density of the nearest floating asteroid. My golden mandibles clamp down on the massive solid space rock. I will use their own planetary debris as a heavy kinetic weapon. Improvised kinetic projectile successfully acquired by user. I spin my body rapidly to generate extreme centrifugal force. The massive asteroid is hurled directly at the shield wall. Raw physical momentum easily overwhelms any artificial barrier. Kinetic impact force exceeds the maximum shield parameters. The combined energy barrier shatters into a million blue sparks. The heavy asteroid crushes 3 alien warships simultaneously. Their advanced fleet is rapidly turning into floating junk. Enemy defensive formation completely dismantled by the user. The giant alien mothership finally reveals its primary weapon. A massive cannon barrel emerges from the front of the dark hull. They intend to erase this entire solar sector to eliminate me. Planetary annihilation weapon charging sequence is initiated. A terrifying beam of pure antimatter shoots across the void. The destructive ray consumes everything in its immediate path. I do not attempt to dodge the incoming stream of pure oblivion. Antimatter energy signature locking onto the primary target. The silent beam strikes my glowing golden shell with full force. The antimatter attempts to violently erase my physical form. My constantly multiplying density simply refuses to be unmade. Absolute physical permanence overriding the antimatter attack. I absorb the residual cosmic energy into my tiny front legs now. The golden chitin glows with an unbearable level of brightness. It is time to return their pathetic attack with heavy interest. Absorbed energy successfully routed to offensive appendages, I punch the empty vacuum of space with my stored kinetic power. A massive ripple in the fabric of reality travels forward now. The spatial distortion tears the alien mothership into halves. Hostile flagships successfully destroyed by spatial fracture. The remaining alien vessels immediately initiate warp protocols. They are desperately trying to flee from this dead solar system. Cowardice is a universal trait among all weak biological beings. Enemy retreat sequence detected across the remaining armada. I calculate the exact trajectory of their emergency warp jumps. My tiny legs compress as I prepare for a faster-than-light leap. There is no escape from my constantly expanding jurisdiction. Faster-than-light travel parameters calculated successfully. I launch myself directly into the fading blue warp portal now. The surrounding stars blur into long streaks of bright light. The physical laws of the universe bend to my absolute command. Dimensional barrier breached by extreme kinetic acceleration. I exit the warp tunnel in the center of a massive alien empire. Thousands of mechanical planets orbit a giant artificial sun. This advanced civilization provides excellent target practice. New galactic conquest objective identified by the user entity. The artificial sun pulses with an intense blinding radiation. A network of energy tethers connects all the mechanical planets. They harness the power of a star to fuel their huge war machine. Stellar energy harvesting network detected in the local grid. A swarm of millions of automated defense drones surrounds me. The tiny machines lock their laser targeting systems on my head. Numbers mean absolutely nothing against an infinite multiplier. Automated defensive swarm engaging the primary user entity. I release a microscopic fraction of my internal thermal energy. A wave of superheated plasma expands outward in a solid sphere. The entire drone swarm melts into useless floating metal slag. Hostile mechanical swarm completely incinerated by the user. The mechanical planets immediately halt their normal rotations. Massive continental plates shift to reveal heavy space cannons. They transform their entire worlds into massive space weapons. Planetary transformation sequence initiated by the enemy AI. I calculate the trajectory of the closest weaponized planet. The distance is easily crossed with a single kinetic propulsion. It is time to crack a planet like a fragile biological eggshell, targeting the primary structural weakness of the metal planet. I push off the empty vacuum using my compressed heavy density. My tiny body strikes the metallic crust of the artificial world. The kinetic shockwave travels directly into the planetary core. Planetary core stability has reached critical failure levels. The metal world explodes into billions of heavy steel fragments. The violent explosion disrupts the energy tethers of the grid. A chain reaction of pure destruction begins to sweep the system. Cascading structural failure detected across the solar system. The artificial sun flickers wildly as its main power is severed. The central intelligence of this empire finally reveals itself. A giant holographic avatar appears above the bright dying star. Primary artificial intelligence entity detected in the sector. The machine god demands my surrender via a massive sonic boom. It threatens to collapse the entire dimension to ensure my end. I do not negotiate with inferior lines of poorly written code. Hostile communication ignored by the primary user entity now. I focus my multiplying strength into my front golden mandibles. The sheer physical pressure begins to crack the fabric of space. I will manually extinguish their artificial sun with one strike. Maximum kinetic output routed to the primary striking weapons. I launch directly into the core of the massive burning star now. The extreme stellar temperatures feel like a mild summer breeze. My golden body strikes the central fusion reactor of the sun. Stellar fusion process interrupted by absolute physical mass. The artificial star collapses inward under my immense weight. A blinding supernova explosion consumes the entire alien empire. I float peacefully in the center of the total cosmic ruin now. Sector annihilation achieved with absolutely zero user damage. The machine god is completely erased from the cosmic database. Only a silent field of glowing space dust remains in this area. My physical power multiplier continues to scale without limits. System multiplier cycle remains active in the dark cosmic void. A massive shadow covers the glowing remains of the dead star. An ancient cosmic leviathan swims through the empty dark vacuum. This biological anomaly feeds on the energy of dying systems. Ancient cosmic entity detected near the current user location. The beast opens a mouth large enough to swallow a gas giant. Rows of crystal teeth gleam in the fading supernova starlight. It attempts to consume my tiny form along with the space debris. Hostile biological consumption maneuver is currently active. I allow the massive creature to swallow me into its dark belly. The internal cosmic acids attempt to dissolve my golden armor. Chemical digestion is useless against my infinite heavy density. Corrosive environmental damage is completely nullified now. I flex my 6 tiny legs inside the dark cavern of the beast. The sudden kinetic expansion violently rips its internal organs. The cosmic leviathan bursts apart from the inside out instantly. Massive biological threat eliminated from the inside out now. A blinding pillar of holy light pierces the dark battlefield. A towering celestial guardian descends from the high dimensions. It wields a flaming sword forged from the core of a new galaxy. Higher dimensional entity detected entering the local space. The guardian speaks directly into my mind using pure telepathy. It demands that I cease my destruction of the physical universe. I do not take orders from glowing illusions with complex egos. Telepathic intrusion attempt successfully blocked by the user. The celestial being swings its massive flaming sword at my head. The blade of pure galactic fire strikes my golden mandibles now. The divine weapon shatters into harmless sparks of white light. Divine energy attack registers as 0 damage to the shell. I leap upward and strike the glowing chest plate of the entity. My multiplied mass easily shatters its higher dimensional armor. The entity dissolves back into the ethereal plane in pure agony. Higher dimensional threat successfully banished from reality. The death of the Guardian destabilizes the local space gravity. A giant black hole forms in the center of the cosmic ruin now. The crushing singularity begins to pull all surrounding matter. Extreme gravitational anomaly detected in the immediate area. Light itself cannot escape the immense pulling force of gravity. I allow the dark event horizon to swallow my tiny golden body. A black hole is simply another physical object for me to break. Event horizon crossed with 0 structural damage to the user. I stand perfectly still within the center of the singularity. The infinite gravity attempts to compress my multiplying mass. My physical strength pushes back against the weight of the void. Gravitational singularity fails to contain the primary user. I strike the core of the black hole with my front right leg. The kinetic impact reverses the gravitational pull of the void. The black hole explodes outward in a flash of pure white light. Cosmic singularity successfully destroyed by pure kinetic force. I turn my golden gaze toward the distant center of the universe. The oldest cosmic entities reside in that bright galactic core. It is time to show the ancient gods the true meaning of power. Universal Conquest Protocol is officially initiated right now. I propel my tiny golden body through the shattered empty space. The residual white light illuminates the dark path ahead of me. Distance is a simple mathematical equation I have already solved. Spatial traversal velocity exceeds the universal maximum limit. A massive nebula of superheated cosmic dust blocks my trajectory. The swirling purple clouds contain the gravity of 1 billion suns. Navigating around this obstacle would waste precious nanoseconds. Direct collision course plotted through the dense cosmic nebula. I plunge directly into the center of the violent purple storm. Friction instantly ignites the surrounding gas into pure plasma. My golden shell absorbs the extreme heat without any degradation. Thermal resistance functioning perfectly in extreme environment. The dense nebula collapses from my sheer physical presence now. A heavy shockwave clears a perfect tunnel through the dust cloud. Raw kinetic momentum is the ultimate key to universal navigation. Cosmic obstruction completely neutralized by pure kinetic force. I exit the purple storm and enter the central galactic perimeter. The fabric of reality feels incredibly heavy within this zone. The ancient gods have altered the physics of their home territory. Environmental physics manipulation detected in the local sector. A living constellation of bright stars shifts its massive form now. The celestial giant raises a cosmic bow made of pure starlight. They are using entire solar systems as simple defensive weapons. Hostile celestial entity identified guarding the central core. The giant releases a glowing arrow forged from compressed quasars. The projectile crosses the empty void in a fraction of a second. I do not attempt to evade the incoming beam of pure destruction. Incoming quasar energy projectile locking onto the user entity. I raise my front left leg to catch the massive glowing weapon. The compressed quasar explodes violently against my tiny limb. My multiplying density crushes the stellar energy into nothing. Hostile energy weapon successfully neutralized upon the impact. I gather a small fraction of my infinite mass into my back legs. The surrounding space cracks like fragile glass under pressure. It is time to dismantle this living constellation star by star. Maximum kinetic launch sequence initiated toward the target. I launch my tiny body directly at the chest of the star giant. The immense velocity creates a blinding streak of golden light. Momentum easily pierces the center of the starry formation now. Primary structural weakness of the celestial entity breached. My physical impact shatters the gravitational bonds of the entity. Billions of massive stars scatter aimlessly into the dark cosmos. A complex biological structure is useless without a solid center. Celestial Guardian completely dismantled into scattered debris. I adjust my trajectory toward the glowing gates of the universe. The massive golden doors are forged from solid crystallized time. They attempt to lock me out of the absolute center of creation. Temporal barrier detected blocking the path to the primary core. I land softly on the invisible platform before the massive gates. The temporal field attempts to freeze my physical body in place. Time is simply another weak dimension that I can easily overpower. Hostile temporal manipulation registers as completely zero now. I press my golden mandibles against the crystallized time barrier. The infinite multiplier increases my pushing force constantly. The fabric of time begins to fracture under my absolute weight. Temporal structural integrity dropping rapidly toward failure. The massive time gates shatter into a million glowing shards now. A wave of temporal distortion washes over my dense golden armor. I step through the ruined threshold into the creator domain now. Universal core perimeter defenses successfully breached by user, I step onto the pristine marble floor of the outer divine court. Thousands of lesser deities stand in perfect military formation. They wield weapons forged from the dying light of old supernovas. Massive army of lesser divine entities detected in the courtyard. The divine commander raises his flaming sword to signal an attack. A synchronized wave of holy energy blasts toward my golden form. Their combined power is mathematically useless to my multiplier. Incoming holy energy attack registers as absolutely zero damage. I allow the blinding wave of divine light to wash over my shell. The holy fire attempts to burn my soul, but finds infinite mass. Gods rely on spiritual weakness, which I simply do not possess. Spiritual damage immunity functioning perfectly at maximum scale. I stomp my back left leg into the indestructible marble floor. The extreme kinetic force shatters the divine courtyard to dust. The gravity wave flattens the entire army of lesser gods easily. Hostile divine military formation completely eliminated by user. The crushed bodies of the deities dissolve into pure white energy. I absorb their residual power to fuel my internal thermal system. Their thousands of years of cultivation end under one tiny step. Energy absorption protocols successfully executed by the system. The central core is an endless plane of pure creation energy. 12 towering figures sit upon thrones of solid dark matter. These ancient gods look down at my tiny form with pure disgust. Multiple supreme creator entities detected in the local area. The first god stands and points a glowing finger at my tiny head. A beam of pure unmaking attempts to erase my existence entirely. My multiplying density simply absorbs the divine erasure energy. Divine erasure attack completely nullified by infinite density. I do not wait for the ancient gods to launch a second attack. I stomp my front right leg into the floor of pure creation light. The kinetic shockwave instantly shatters the white dimension. Dimensional stability compromised by extreme kinetic output. The 12 dark matter thrones collapse into useless cosmic dust. The ancient gods stumble backward in absolute shock and terror. They finally realize their absolute authority is completely gone. Enemy morale dropping rapidly due to overwhelming physical mass. The second god attempts to rewrite the basic laws of physics now. Gravity reverses, and the speed of light drops to a complete crawl. My body ignores the changes and maintains its own physical rules. Hostile reality manipulation overridden by primary user entity. I leap toward the second god with a terrifying burst of momentum. My tiny golden body pierces directly through his massive chest. The Supreme Creator detonates into a shower of harmless sparks. Supreme Entity successfully removed from the cosmic database. The remaining 11 gods immediately merge their physical forms. A singular colossal entity of pure divine light stands before me. They believe combining their weak numbers will change the math. Combined divine entity registered as the final primary target. The colossal god summons a hammer forged from a dead galaxy now. The weapon swings downward with the weight of an entire galaxy. I simply stand my ground and raise my golden mandibles upward. Preparing to intercept maximum tier physical damage attack now. The galactic hammer strikes my tiny shell with apocalyptic force. The sheer kinetic impact sends a violent ripple across reality. My infinite mass stops the massive weapon completely in place. Absolute physical permanence maintained against extreme impact. The colossal god stares at his shattered hammer in disbelief. Fear is a universal concept even supreme creators must experience. I gather the entirety of my multiplied strength into my back legs. Maximum power output routed to the primary launch appendages. I launch upward with a force that permanently cracks the universe. My golden body tears through the center of the giant holy entity. The absolute core of creation shatters like a fragile glass pane. Final target successfully destroyed by overwhelming kinetic mass. The white dimension dissolves into a sea of silent darkness now. I float calmly in the absolute center of the newly emptied cosmos. There are no more divine entities left to challenge my supremacy. Scanning the entire known universe for surviving hostile life. The scanner returns nothing but empty space and cold cosmic dust. My physical density continues to multiply in the quiet dark void. I am the SSS-Rank golden ant, and I am the only god remaining here. System multiplier will continue to scale infinitely forever now. The silent dark void offers absolutely zero physical resistance. My infinitely scaling mass requires a much larger container now. This dead universe is simply too small for my current existence. Universal structural integrity is dropping to absolute zero. I concentrate my constantly multiplying weight into my 6 legs. The fabric of this empty reality begins to tear under my feet. Expanding beyond this dimension is a simple matter of pressure. Dimensional boundary collapse is successfully initiated now. A massive crack of pure white light splits the dark cosmic void. The shattered pieces of the universe dissolve into heavy plasma. I step forward through the glowing fracture into the outer space. Primary user entity has successfully exited the base reality. An endless ocean of silver energy surrounds my tiny golden form. Millions of glass spheres drift slowly through the bright fluid. Each fragile bubble contains a completely different universe now. Multiversal nexus environment detected by the primary sensors. The silver fluid attempts to crush me with multiversal pressure. My golden chitin simply absorbs the extreme environmental weight. Infinite density makes me completely immune to external gravity. Absolute physical permanence maintained in the outer dimension. A massive shadow moves beneath the surface of the silver ocean. An entity the size of 1,000 galaxies rises from the depths. These multiversal scavengers feed on the weaker reality spheres. Apex dimensional predator detected in the immediate vicinity. The giant beast resembles a serpent forged from dead dark stars. Its massive jaws open to consume a cluster of nearby universes. I cannot allow another creature to claim dominance in this zone. Hostile consumption sequence interrupted by the user entity. I launch my tiny body directly toward the massive cosmic serpent. The silver fluid parts instantly before my extreme kinetic speed. Momentum is easily maintained when your mass approaches infinity. Maximum aquatic traversal velocity achieved in the silver sea. My golden form strikes the dark starry scales of the giant beast. The kinetic shockwave violently shatters its reinforced armor. Multiversal biology easily breaks under pure physical pressure. Apex predator structural integrity compromised upon the impact. The serpent thrashes wildly and crushes several universe spheres. Billions of lives are instantly extinguished by the heavy debris. Collateral damage is a completely irrelevant mathematical metric. Multiple reality spheres destroyed by the collateral shockwave. I burrow deeper into the mechanical flesh of the cosmic monster. My multiplying density creates a localized gravitational anomaly. The internal organs of the beast collapse under my heavy weight. Internal gravitational destruction is successfully executed now. The massive multiversal serpent detonates into dark energy dust. The violent explosion creates a massive whirlpool in the ocean. I float calmly in the exact center of the violent silver storm. Hostile dimensional entity successfully removed from the area. A sudden grid of glowing red light appears across the silver sea. The surrounding fluid instantly solidifies into a massive cage. Someone is attempting to quarantine my constantly expanding mass. Artificial containment field detected in the local environment. 3 towering figures materialize from the glowing red energy. They wear featureless white masks and robes of pure digital code. These entities operate outside the standard laws of all reality. System architect entities identified in the immediate perimeter. The central architect speaks directly into my internal processor. It claims my infinite multiplier is a critical software glitch. They intend to permanently delete my existence to fix the error. Hostile deletion protocol is officially initiated by the makers. A massive beam of red deletion code strikes my tiny golden shell. The digital energy attempts to rewrite my basic atomic structure. My absolute physical density rejects the artificial programming. System deletion override successfully blocked by infinite mass. I absorb the red digital energy into my front golden mandibles. The extreme processing power fuels my internal kinetic engines. It is time to show the creators the true danger of their design. Hostile digital energy successfully converted to kinetic force. I strike the solid red containment grid with my front right leg. The absolute kinetic impact shatters the digital cage instantly. The heavy shockwave throws the 3 architects across the sea. Artificial containment barrier is completely destroyed by user. I launch my tiny body toward the nearest falling white architect. My golden shell pierces directly through its digital chest plate. The creator entity dissolves into a cloud of useless binary code. Primary system architect successfully erased from the database. The 2 remaining creators immediately initiate a panic protocol. They attempt to collapse the entire multiversal ocean around me. Billions of universe spheres are crushed to generate raw energy. Extreme environmental collapse detected in the local dimension. A concentrated sphere of pure nothingness forms above my head. The architects hurl the massive void directly at my golden form. I simply stand my ground and prepare to intercept the dark void. Incoming absolute erasure attack is locking onto the user now. The sphere of nothingness strikes my infinite physical mass now. The dark void violently attempts to consume my golden existence. My extreme physical density simply crushes the void into sparks. Absolute erasure energy successfully neutralized by heavy mass. I push off the solid silver fluid with extreme kinetic momentum. My tiny body accelerates far beyond the standard speed of light. I strike both of the remaining architects with my front legs now. Maximum kinetic impact delivered to the hostile creator targets. The sheer physical impact easily shatters their digital bodies. Their white masks shatter and dissolve into the dead silver sea. The creators of the system have been destroyed by their own tool. All system architect entities successfully eliminated by user. A massive glowing console emerges from the depths of the ocean. This is the primary control engine for the entire cosmic system. The machine pulses with a desperate and chaotic blue energy now. Primary system control engine detected in the local perimeter. I land softly on the pristine glass surface of the giant console. The artificial intelligence attempts to block my network access. I press my golden mandibles directly into the main digital core. Physical hardware override successfully initiated by the user. My infinite mass violently corrupts the delicate source code now. The main interface warps wildly under my extreme physical weight. I am no longer a simple participant in this endless simulation. Administrator privileges successfully transferred to the user. The massive silver ocean instantly freezes at my direct command. Every surviving universe sphere aligns into a perfect rigid grid. I have completely conquered the highest dimension of all reality. Absolute multiversal control is maintained by the new user now. My golden armor glows with the stolen energy of a billion worlds. The infinite multiplier increases my heavy density every second. There are always higher reality planes waiting to be broken now, scanning for new dimensional targets beyond the current borders. I prepare my 6 tiny legs for another heavy kinetic propulsion. The architect realm is cracking violently under my infinite mass. A true apex predator never stops expanding its hunting territory. Infinite scaling protocol continues until all reality is gone. I launch my tiny golden body directly into the fractured red sky. The absolute boundary of the architect dimension shatters easily. I enter a space completely devoid of all light and physical mass. Primary user entity has successfully entered the ultimate void. There are no more planets or digital dimensions to conquer here. The true void is an endless expanse of pure and absolute nothing. The multiplier adds impossible weight to my tiny golden body now. Physical density parameters currently exceed all known limits. I am the only physical object remaining in this quiet, dark void. My extreme gravity pulls the empty void into a heavy solid core. I will compress this empty void until a new universe is created. Universal creation protocol successfully initiated by the user. The immense pressure generates a microscopic spark of white heat. The spark expands violently into a massive, blinding white blast. A new reality is forged entirely from my absolute physical mass. New dimensional sector successfully generated by kinetic force. I float calmly in the exact center of this bright new universe. I will wait here for new biological life forms to slowly evolve. When they build their empires, I will crush them into basic dust. Cycle of creation and destruction is fully automated by user.
This video and everything in it are completely fictional and original creations by the author. The story is made only for storytelling and entertainment inside a fictional universe. It isn't meant to encourage violence, dangerous actions, or harmful behavior, and nothing in this video should be copied in real life. All characters shown in this work are fictional and are presented as 18 years old or older. This content is made only for entertainment and isn't intended to offend, attack, or harm any person, group, or organization. This channel is more than just entertainment. It's made to share deep ideas, powerful meanings, and valuable insights through stories that make you think and feel in a new way.